Welcome guys, this is Aaron and Miss Thomas from Saguaro Culinary. Today we're going to learn to make chocolate mousse, okay? So let's go over ingredients real quick. So you're going to need, so this is the chocolate I'm using today. It's semi-sweet. If you want a more dark chocolate taste, you're going to use bittersweet. I wouldn't recommend using milk chocolate for this because it's got a different consistency and it might screw it up a little bit. So we're going to need 6 ounces of the chocolate, and guys, this goes with anything cooking. The better ingredient you get, the better end result you're going to end up with. So if you have to spend a little more on the chocolate to do this, that's absolutely fine. You're going to turn out with a better product. So 6 ounces of chocolate. These are 4-ounce bars, so 1 1/2. Okay, we're going to need 3 whole eggs that we're going to separate. Keep the yolk, keep the white. Okay. 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Just table sugar. Oh, okay. Table sugar, vanilla, cream of tartar. We'll go over why this is necessary later. And then basically some heavy whipping cream, okay? So that's all we're gonna use. Let me put the heavy whipping cream back in the fridge because we want it really cold when we use it. But you guys can come over here to the stove. So guys, what I'm gonna do today is create basically a double boiler. So this is a pot that's filled with about 1 inch of water. I don't need a lot more. And so what I'm gonna end up doing is melting the chocolate in a separate bowl that sits on top of this. This one doesn't fit, the other one over there does, that's okay. So we're gonna cook this indirectly. So the heat from the steam is basically gonna melt our chocolate. It ensures that we don't burn it, and it cooks more evenly. If you do not have one of these at home, you can do it in the microwave. Microwave safe bowl, you're gonna put your chocolate and butter in the bowl. And you are going to do it about 20-second intervals. Stir it, keep going until it's all melted. Okay, so I'm gonna turn my water just to get it to simmering. And then we'll come back and we'll turn it down if we need to, okay? Okay, so the first step we're gonna do is we're gonna separate our eggs from our egg yolk. So we have the fancy little tool today. This is an egg separator. Let me get a trash can real quick because this might get messy. So all we're gonna do, so you take your egg, crack it over your bowl, get the top off, and then we just pour we pour the whole egg into here, and it keeps the yolk right there while the egg white comes down into the bowl. So as you can see, you got a little bit here. I'm gonna use those today. Okay, so there we go. There's our 1 egg yolk sitting right there. And we're gonna do this for the rest of the eggs. Okay, right in there. This is actually a pretty nifty tool. They're pretty cheap. You can get them at Walmart, Target, stuff like that. So, you know, it's a good tool for separating. So guys, this is one of those recipes I highly recommend. All your ingredients are basically at room temperature except for the heavy cream. It's gonna ensure that everything cooks more evenly. And so we are gonna be dealing with a lot of temperature extremes and differences in this recipe. So I got my yolk separated. I'm gonna take off my gloves. Okay, so we're gonna unwrap our chocolate. And so basically, this comes in bar form. You can use chocolate chips, you can use the melting chips, whatever you guys have basically. So, like I said, this is a 4-ounce bar. So this recipe calls for 6 ounces of chocolate. So it's gonna be 1.5 bars. So all we're gonna do from this point forward is, so if I was to just put this chocolate in the bowl and put that on the stove, it's gonna take forever to melt. It's gonna melt unevenly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chop this chocolate up, okay? Get my bench scraper over there, get this out of the way. So basically I'm just gonna, chop it down into little slivers. I mean, it doesn't have to be minuscule or anything like that. I'm just trying to get it so it's basically even. Chopping chocolate's a pain, but you know, sometimes it's necessary. Okay. So this is about the size I want, just like little slivers like this. Okay. You can also put this chocolate in a Ziploc bag and hit it with a hammer. I've seen people do it like that. It's however you decide to do it. If you don't feel like messing up this recipe is going to create a lot of dishes, so if you don't want to make more, that's absolutely fine. Okay, so that chocolate's chopped. There's my chopped chocolate. Another fun little tool, if you guys have one of these at home, this is called a bench scraper. It's a really easy way to get stuff up off a cutting board or a table. Slide it under, right your bowl. All right, guys, this is where I'm gonna mention this. This is very important. Use a dry bowl, okay? Any sort of water in this is gonna cause your chocolate to seize up and it's not gonna melt properly. You wanna make sure anything that's gonna come into contact with this chocolate is really dry, and I can't stress this enough, guys, so dry. Okay, so that's my bowl of chocolate. To this, I'm gonna add the 3 tablespoons of butter. 1, 2, 3. So, guys, I don't know if I mentioned this, but anything in a stick, it should have a measurement right on it. It always comes in tablespoons, so like 1 stick of butter is about 8 ounces of butter. So my 3 was right there, so I'm gonna add my 3 right up into the chocolate, okay? Okay, so now we're gonna come back over to the stove real quick. Okay, so already I can look at my water and go, oh, I see the little bit of steam coming up. That looks great. So it's actually a little hot right now, so I'm gonna turn it down to about low to mid temp, and I'm gonna just let that settle for a minute while I grab it. So with anything super sticky like chocolate, anything like that, I always recommend silicone. Wooden spoons work and stuff like that. It's just gonna stick really a lot to the chocolate. So, you know, whatever you guys got at home, that's fine. Okay, so water's cooling down. So like I said, guys, this is a double boiler. So as you can see, this bowl fits perfectly right on this. It's not going anywhere. So all I'm gonna do is cover this with a dish towel for like 10-15 seconds. Make sure you don't light the towel on fire on your stove. So what we're basically doing is letting this steam melt this chocolate. All we're doing is melting chocolate. We're not tempering it. We're not doing anything fancy. We're just melting chocolate and butter. We're just creating a ganache right now. Okay. So as you start to see, the chocolate is already starting to melt. This can go as slow as you need it to, guys. I mean, it's super important that you do not burn this chocolate. Do not burn the chocolate. So we're always going to keep stirring it just so chocolate isn't at the same place more than like 5 seconds. I just don't want it to burn. There's very little chance with this method, but I want to be extra careful with it. The chocolate is the most important part of this. So you want to take great care with it. So if you were doing this in the microwave right now, this would probably be about 40 seconds of microwaving. Do it in 20-second intervals, take it out, give it a good stir, throw it back in until, I'll show you the texture I'm looking for right now, guys. Okay, so you see how quickly that's melting. This doesn't take long. If you use cooler water, it's gonna take longer. If your water's hotter, there's more danger to it, but you know, it'll work regardless. As long as you're stirring your chocolate and it's not burning, you're okay. So this is looking really good right like this. See how see how smooth it is? That's exactly what I'm looking for. Perfect. I'm gonna take this off right now, guys. Okay. So I'm gonna turn my stove off. We won't need that. So make sure everything's off when we come back here. So I'm just gonna get the chocolate off the spatula. So our next step, guys, so I'm gonna wait for the chocolate to cool down about a minute. Resist the temptation of sticking your fingers in. Don't add impurities. Like you're gonna eat it in 15-20 minutes anyway, so just don't touch it. Okay, so guys, I'll walk you through the next step. We have our 3 egg yolks that were already separated, and we're gonna add these one at a time into this mixture. Don't worry about, there's times where we talk about hey, don't add egg into hot things because it'll cook the egg. This is not hot, it's room temperature right now. I'm not concerned about it cooking the egg, so I'm gonna add, let's do it like this so you can see a little bit better. So I'm just gonna add one at a time. There's one. We're just gonna whisk it in. Okay. And you can already start to see, so we're gonna put 3 in there, but you can already see the shine and the gloss it's giving. Looks really good. 2. Mix it up. And then we're gonna add our 3. And if your egg yolk breaks, it doesn't matter. It's just getting whisked in anyway, so don't worry about it. Put that off to the side. This, depending on how you do this, this can create a lot of dishes, so, you know, just be forewarned if you're gonna do it at home. Don't wreck the kitchen. Okay, so this is our chocolate mixture. This is our chocolate ganache right now. This is done. So I'm just gonna set this aside while we do everything else. So this is just gonna sit right here, room temperature. You don't have to put it in the fridge. You don't have to do anything with it at this point. Okay, next step. So we're gonna create a meringue that we're gonna fold into that mixture. We'll go over that later. So we're gonna need our egg white, the 3 egg whites, cream of tartar, and some table sugar. So let's go over to the KitchenAid. So let's come on over here. You guys can see how this does. So we have KitchenAids here. A couple of you guys use hand mixers. It might take a little bit longer. That's okay. It's not a problem. So we're going to add the whipping attachment to the KitchenAid. Okay. Get that on there. So we're going to put it straight down. Okay. Lock it. Okay. So for right now, this is going to get loud. I don't know what it's going to be like on the video, so I'll stop it and talk to you guys about this. So I'm going to add the egg white in. And all I want to do is I want to get this frothy right now. I just want to get it a little foamy. I'm not trying to do anything else with it. So after we get to that point, I'll stop it and we'll talk about it. High speed. Do everything here high speed. Okay, so you guys see how it is frothy? It's created the bubbles and stuff. At this point, I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar, okay? So this is 1/4 of a teaspoon. Right in there. I'm gonna close it back up and I'm gonna start it back on. It's gonna go for about a minute, okay? So let's see what happens. So you guys can already see it's starting to increase in volume. That's because we are whipping air into there. You can do this by hand. It's gonna take forever though. Okay, so you see how much volume is already increased? The reason we use the cream of tartar is because it has a binder in it that actually binds to egg white, so when this becomes a meringue, it won't collapse and it'll stay fluffier for longer. So at this point, what I'm gonna do, guys, is I have 1/4 cup of sugar, and as this is going, I'm gonna slowly pour it in, okay? So we're gonna get this going again. You're gonna see me pouring some sugar in there, 1/4 cup. Okay, so right now this is either between soft and medium peaks. What we want is a stiff peak. So as you can see, as I put the spatula in now, I'll lift it up and it, you know, sort of goes back down. So I'm gonna whip it for another minute, okay? Okay, let's take a look. So you see how it is sticking to the thing and it's not really going anywhere? This is the consistency I'm looking for. So if I make a peak with this, I bring it up, you see how it doesn't go anywhere, it stays like that? That's exactly what I'm looking for. So take your attachment off. Get the meringue off. Set that aside. Now we're gonna come back over here to our chocolate, okay? So guys, this is meringue. So if you're ever making a pie, you can use this. This is a meringue recipe. So that's all that is. Okay. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna fold. So what that means is I'm gonna take small portions of this chocolate, put it in this bowl, and my arm is gonna do this motion. I'm trying to get the bottom to the top, the bottom to the top. I'm not whipping it. I'm not doing whatever. I don't want to ruin this meringue. So I'm gonna be very gentle with it. So watch as I go. So I'm gonna add a little bit of chocolate right in the bowl. This isn't that much chocolate. You can either work in batches of 2 or 3, okay? So I'm probably gonna do 2. Okay. So this is all I'm gonna do. Dig to the bottom, move up. As I turn the bowl, dig to the bottom, move up. Move up. And I'm not trying to get an even color right now. I'm just trying to get this chocolate incorporated with the meringue. So just keep folding, keep folding. So you can see how the chocolate's starting to get incorporated with the meringue. Okay, just keep folding. So you see how I'm being very gentle with this. I want to keep the airy. So this is a dish that should be very airy. So that's what I'm trying to keep the, you can see the consistency of it. It looks really good. Okay, so I'm going to get the rest of the chocolate in there. Okay. And then we're going to continue folding, okay? So guys, this is one of those things, this is a dish that works better the faster you go. It gives the meringue and the whipped cream less chance to deflate. So, you know, don't make the meringue and walk away and go watch a TV show or anything. Just, you know, keep at it. Okay. Okay, you see how it's getting that mocha color right now? Okay. So at this point, you know, if you see streaks of white, not the end of the world. Don't worry about it. We're not worried about that right now. When we fold in the other stuff, that's when we'll start to worry about it. But for right now, just get the chocolate incorporated. Okay. Okay, so this is our chocolate mixture mixed with our meringue mixture. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to create whipped cream. So if you guys want to come over here, this is a little tip for making whipped cream. So the bowl I'm going to make the whipped cream in, I physically put it in the freezer. I want this thing cold, cold, cold. It's going to help the whipped cream set up faster. It'll help it make it whipped cream better. Okay, so I'm going to grab my heavy cream. If you keep it in the fridge, don't use room temperature heavy cream. Keep it in the fridge overnight. Put it in the freezer for the last 15 minutes if you need to. So for this, all I need is heavy cream, vanilla, and the sugar I have over there. I'm going to grab my tablespoon actually though. Okay, so come on, let's go over. Okay, so we're going to attach our, attach that. Oh, let me go grab a half cup measure. Okay, so guys, to this bowl, right now all we're going to add is 1/2 of heavy cream, half a cup. Nice and full. Okay, good, got it? Okay, so right in there, get it all out. We're gonna drop this in and we're gonna put it to high speed again, okay? So I'm just gonna slowly drizzle in a little bit of vanilla, okay? Probably about 1/2 of a teaspoon. Perfect. Also at this point, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of sugar to it at this point, while the machine's going. Let's take a peek. So for this one, guys, we're looking for medium peaks. You see how it's not going off of the whisk? You move it. That looks just like whipped cream to me. That looks great. So guys, one of those things, when you're whipping the whipped cream, don't walk away. You can over whip it. It'll start to turn creamy and gross. Just be careful with it, okay? Don't walk away. All right, so now we got our whipped cream. So guys, this is a dessert that comes together really fast, honestly. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the exact same thing we did with the meringue, but we're going to do it with the whipped cream. Okay? So I'm going to, this isn't a ton, so I'm going to do 1/2 and 1/2. So let's do about 1/2 of this, okay? Okay. We'll get the other 1/2 in a bit. And we are going to continue folding. So this is the part where you have to fold a little bit longer just so you can get the color consistent. I mean, if it's got white streaks, it's not the end of the world, but you know, it looks better if it's a more uniform color. So we're just gonna keep folding. And you can start to uncover some of the streaks like that, and then you can sort of see them. So guys, this is basically our chocolate mousse at this point, honestly. Okay, so I'm gonna add the rest of this whipped cream. And like I said, I really like the silicone spatulas. Nothing really sticks to them. Yeah, there's the rest of our whipped cream. Okay, now we're gonna fold. We're gonna do this until it's a consistent color, honestly. So however long that takes you, if you do a real slow fold, that's fine. But you can start to see how it's starting to get that really consistent brown color all throughout. You see very little, very few streaks in it at this point. Okay. Oh, a little bit of chocolate down there. We'll get that mixed in. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna keep folding. Okay, so sort of start looking for pieces of white or brown and start to get them mixed up, okay. Okay, so this looks really good at this point. So after this, all you're gonna have to do is refrigerate this for about 15-20 minutes so it sets up. Okay, and then I'm gonna put this in the fridge and I'll show you guys how to do some garnishes. But this is basically the mousse, that's all it is to it. Like, this is chocolate mousse. It's a really nice, light, airy dessert. So I pick it up with this and like it doesn't go anywhere. It's a very solid dessert on it. I mean, not solid in the sense that it's like a brownie, but it should be really airy, sticky, frothy. It should look exactly like this. This is perfect. Okay, so let's put this in the fridge and I'll show you guys a little bit of garnishing. So 15 minutes in the fridge. Anything with meringue or whipped cream that you home make, it's gonna be better that night. I mean, you can keep it in the fridge a couple days, but you know, eat it pretty quick. Okay, so if you happen to have leftover chocolate from that extra half a bar that you bought, potato peeler, just chocolate, and you do like little curls. You can just do those right over the top of your mousse when you're ready to serve it. See, those look really cool. So let me get a zester and so if you have one of these that's used for lemon zest, things like that, you can absolutely use it for chocolate. So all you do is just run it across, and you see how it's creating a dust. So you do that right over the top of the mousse. Put a couple of the curls on it, and it looks really cool, honestly. So guys, that's all the chocolate mousse. I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it for you guys. Have a good day.